Okay, guys, let me ask you something. What if a person who cannot move their hands can still control a machine just by thinking? That is exactly what brain computer interface or BCIs do. In simple terms, BCI connects human brain directly to a device without any muscles. So, brain signals are directly converted into actions like moving a wheelchair or controlling a prosthetic arm. For example, if a paralyzed person who is using a wheelchair wants to move his wheelchair, but he can't move no through hands, if he think itself, the wheelchair will move. In this session, I'll explain how this works in a very simple way, step by step, so you can clearly understand and remember it for your exams. Let's start. Before getting into a full video, please subscribe to our channel Mr. Biomedical and press the bell icon so that you'll get notified about our upcoming videos. Why brain computer interfaces are so important? Many people around the world suffer from conditions like paralysis, stroke, or spinal cord injury. In these cases, the brain still works. The person can think clearly, but their body cannot respond. So, there is a break between what brain wants to do and what body actually do. This is the main problem. Now here comes the solution, brain computer interface. Create a direct connection between the brain and the device. So instead of using muscles, the brain can directly control things like wheelchair or a computer. This can help patients regain independence and improve their quality of life. Now, the definition of a brain computer interface is a BCI is a system, okay, that takes signals directly from your brain and process them and converts them into a command to control a device. The important point here is it does not use any nerves or muscles at all. It creates a direct connection between a brain and the computer. Now, how does it work step by step? First, signals are collected using an electrodes, okay. Then, those signals are processed and analyzed. After that, a decoder converts them into a commands. Signals are converted into a commands. Finally, an output device like a prosthetic arm or a computer responds. Also remember, terms like BMI or a neural interface means the same concept. And in exams, the key point is BCIs work independently of the peripheral nervous system. Okay, now let's see how a BCI system works step by step. First, brain activity is generated when a person thinks or intends to do something. If a person thinks, brain activity will get generated. Now, these signals are then collected using an electrodes. Okay, this is called signal acquisition, getting the signal. Then, these signals are cleaned to remove the noise, which is called preprocessing. Now, noise is removed. After that, important features are extracted from the signals. Then comes the most important step, translation, where these signals are converted into commands. Finally, the output device responds like a moving cursor or a prosthetic arm. All this happens very fast within a millisecond, so it feels natural to the user. Now, types of BCI. First is invasive BCI. Here, electrodes are placed directly inside the brain. Okay, directly inside the brain. So, signal quality is very high. But it requires a surgery. Invasive means it involves cutting. It will have some pain and all. Second is non-invasive BCI. Here, the sensors are placed on the scalp like EEG. It is safe and widely used, but signal quality is lower while compared to invasive. And the third is a semi-invasive BCA. In this, electrodes are placed on the surface of brain but not deep inside. So it gives better signals than non-invasive with less risk than invasive. So simply, it's a trade-off between signal quality and the safety. Now let's focus on EEG because it is most commonly used method in BCI. EEG means electroencephalography. It measures electrical signals produced by the brain using an electrodes placed on the scalp. The reason EEG is widely used is because it is safe, non-invasive and gives very fast responses. Now, brain signals are divided into two different frequency bands. For example, delta is seen in deep sleep, whereas alpha in a relaxed state and beta in a active thinking, and gamma in high cognition, and theta during drowsiness. In BCI, we mainly use specific signals like P300, SSVEP, and motor imagery. These signals help us to understand what the user is thinking and convert it into actions. So, EEG plays a key role in connecting the brain and an external device. Now, the pipeline of a signal processing. First, EEG signals. EEG signals are very noisy, so we need to clean them. This step is called pre-processing. It removes unwanted noise. And next is feature extraction. Here, we pick an important information from the signals like a patterns related to thinking or a moment. After that comes classification. This is where a machine learning model decides what a user is trying to do. Finally, the output. It is sent to a device like a moving cursor or a controlling an arm. One important point for exams is feature extraction means what we measure and classify means what what decision we make, sorry. The next one is applications of an BCIs. First is communications. For a patient who cannot speak or move, can type using a BCI just by focusing on letters on a screen. And second one, wheelchair and home control. Using a brain signals, a person can move a chair or even control lights and TV. The third one is neuroprosthetics. BCI can control robotic arms by detecting the intention to move, helping paralyzed patients to perform actions. Finally, stroke rehabilitation. BCI give feedback to the brain and help patients to recover from a moment faster. So overall, BCI helps to restore independence and improve quality of life. Now, let's look at the advantages and limitations of BCI. First advantages. BCI helps to restore important functions like communication and the movement in paralyzed patient. They also have a non-invasive options like EEG which are safe and do not require surgery. BCIs can also support brain recovery after a stroke and allow hands-free control of devices. Now limitations. Brain signals are very weak and noisy, so accuracy can be affected. Users may feel tired because it requires continuous mental focus. Also, some systems need training and invasive BCI carry medical risks. And finally, the cost is still high. For exams, remember better signal quality usually comes with a higher risk. So, to conclude, brain computer interface are transforming biomedical engineering by allowing people to control device using their thoughts. Today, PCIs are already used for communication, prosthetics, and rehabilitation. In future, we can expect faster, wireless, and more accurate systems, even restoring speech and sensory feedback. For exam, always remember the basics like signal flows, types of BCA, and key EEG signals like P300, SSVEP, and motor imaginary. That is the core idea of BCA. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends. And please comment down what video you want next for your exams.